is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to my channel and to the 13 days of Halloween. Today is day 5 already. Oh my goodness. And I have another fun project for you, and I hope that you guys are having fun with all the projects so far. So today I have this Wicked book of pockets, and I am using these Recollection Green Witch papers, and I just really like the green, the golds, the blacks on these collections. So I wanted to make something super fun. So for me, this is like the book that the witch will carry around everywhere and just write down all her magical potions and recipes and things like that. So over here on the cover, I have one of these images that I actually googled and printed. I just googled vintage witch, and I picked this one because it has a little bit of green on her outfit, because the collection didn't come with any witches or anything like that, but the papers were really fun to play with. And then here I have some like tulle lace that I just had in my stash forever, and I went ahead and did a lot of stitching on this project. Now you can definitely do it without the stitching. I just really like the look of the stitches around. I have some ruffles in here, and now let me show you the inside. Oh, I do have a little closure that I added after the tutorial. So all this is just an eyelet and some ribbon that I passed through. So because I know this probably will get a little bit chunky and you are going to need a closure. So when we open these up, we have all kinds of little pockets in here. So starting with the cover itself is a pocket. Same thing on this back cover. And then over here we have some vellum, a little vellum pocket, because I really wanted to display the inside of this paper. And then with my scrap pieces, I went ahead and created some little booklets, and these are also scrap pieces of coffee dye paper that I had on my stash. So these were really quick and easy to make. And then here we have another pocket. Now all of these postcards I again had on my stash, and these are vintage postcards. Well, not so vintage actually, but they look vintage, and so I'm just gonna put that one on that pocket. Now this little section flips over, and we have a little triple pocket in here. So starting with this little pocket in there, and again I just used my scraps to add a little picture area. And then here on the pocket I just created some booklets using some of my tea-dye paper, and that goes in there. And then back here we have another pocket with another postcard, and then this whole page on itself is a pocket back there. So you have lots of room for all your potions and recipes. And then over here on the center we have another pocket with another one of these vintage postcards, or vintage looking. These are actually 2016 not so vintage. And then here on the center I added a traveler's notebook. Now this traveler's notebook I already had, and this is from Michael's, and yeah, so I just went ahead and covered it using the paper collection so it can match the theme. And I added 2 little holes to add this little ribbon here, and this actually it's interchangeable, so you can take it out, and if you finish using it, you can replace it, or you don't even have to have it after all. You can just have all these fun little pockets for different things. And then over here we have another one of these little booklets that I made using scrap pieces, and this is another double pocket, but this one has one coming from the side, and these are just some ephemera from my stash. And then here we have the pocket on the back, and I'm just kind of putting a couple in so this one can hang in there. And then we open this one up, and this is also a pocket here. And then we have another image that I just printed out from the internet, and this is a side pocket there. Now all of my pockets look stitched, but they're actually just added with glue. So even if you don't use a sewing machine, you can definitely do this tutorial. I just added the stitching for the looks mainly, and so those two tag in there. And that is my project for today. Don't forget to leave a comment on the description box down below, and don't forget to visit my friends Robin and Michelle to see what they have for you today. And now let's go ahead and make this together. So to make this project, I'm going to be using the Green Witch paper collection. This is one that I recently got at Michael's, and it's just so pretty. I love the greens, the purples, and the golds. Also, I went ahead and printed out this image from the internet. I just googled like vintage witches because I feel like the paper was missing like the witch which is probably the most important part, but this will be really cute for the cover of our book. So I'm just going to quickly trim this out. So I went ahead and selected these two sheets here. I love the green tones, and I'm going to trim these ones down to maybe 9 inches. So I'm just gonna hold them together here and just do 9 inches. And because this paper is not double-sided, I am going to kind of glue these two back to back, but I'm only going to glue the top and the bottom. That way I have an opening here for some pockets. So I'm just gonna add some glue on the top and some glue on the bottom here, and I'm going to just place them on top of each other. And if you use a sewing machine, you can also go ahead and add some stitches, which is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so now we're going to place this onto our scoreboard, and I'm going to score at 5 3/4, and I'm also going to score at 6 1/4 to give this a little spine. And I was also going to say that even if you are using double-sided paper, I would suggest you putting 2 together. That way you make these a little bit stronger, since this is going to be our cover. And I'm just going to now fold along the score lines. Okay, so now I'm going to add this piece of tool that I have here to add some texture to the cover. So I'm just gonna cut a piece, and that can go right there. And then I went ahead and stitch around my image as well, and then I'm just going to glue those down. So we have that so far, and now let's work on the inside. So I selected some papers that I think I'm going to be using for the inside. So I'm going to start by cutting this one at 8 inches, and I'm going to make an envelope here on the side. And so what I'm going to do, or I'm going to make a pocket so much, not an envelope. So then I'm going to score this piece at 1 inch and 6 inches and 11 inches. And then I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to score 1/2 inch on the bottom. Okay. And then we are going to fold along the score lines, and we're going to create this little pocket flap. And so I'm just gonna fold along the lines and along the bottom here. Okay, now for the bottom, I'm going to take out one of the sides. So I'm just going to cut this 1/2 inch section out, okay, all the way to the half. And then I'm just going to cut the corner like that, and then here I'm also going to cut the corner like that and the corner like this. And then we're going to close these pockets. So I'm going to fold these 2 pieces in. So I'm just going to add my glue on these sides and on this side here. and then I'm just going to close this whole section, and you are going to leave this 1-inch flap to the side like that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press down here on my pocket. We're going to insert this on the back cover like that. Okay, so I'm just going to add some glue on this section here. Okay, and then I'm going to just place this inside the cover like that, and then I'm just going to make sure this closes and press down. So we have a little flip page like that. So we're just gonna do a half circle on the inside side of the pocket. So I'm only doing one of the sides, and I'm just gonna add that so we know it's a pocket, but here on this side it's a full page. And I'm going to do about the same with this design here. I'm just going to cut this one a little bit bigger, so this one is going to be 9 inches. Okay, and I just want my pages to be uneven, I guess. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to score at 1 inch, 6 inches, and 11 inches. And then we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the bottom. So now we're just going to fold along the score lines and fold here. Okay, and also we're going to fold on the sides and on this side here as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this bottom section here one more time, and this time we're going to make sure we have the hinge to the other side. And okay, so I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm going to cut this corner, and there you go. So now we have the hinge this way, and we are just going to add some glue on these 1/2 inches, or 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Oops, let me move this away. And here we go, to create the other pocket. Okay, and I'm just going to press down like that, and then I'm also going to do the hole here. So it's gonna be a 1/2 circle to have that pocket, and then this is going to go inside the cover here again. Now for this one, I'm going to trim the sides because it is a little bit bigger, and I want to make sure that it will fit. Okay, so there you go. So that's how we're gonna add these pockets. I'm just gonna press here first, and then I'm going to add my glue on the inside of this hinge. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to insert this here again, and I'm gonna press down here one more time. I'm going to cut this page here. We're going to trim this to 5.5 right here, and then I'm going to just reduce this to about 7.5 inches. Okay, and then we're going to score this piece to make this into a pocket also. So this is going to be scored at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So we're gonna do 1/2 inch, then 1/2 inch here, and then 1/2 inch here one more time. And we are going to fold along the score line, just like this. And then I'm also going to trim the corners. Okay, so just like that. And then we're we're going to add these here. So this will be another pockets here on the top, and I'm going to also do these half circle punch. Okay, and I'm going to add this piece right there. So I'm just going to add my glue on these sections here with the 1/2 inch. Same thing here, and then the top. Okay, and now we're just going to add this back into our page here and right here as well. And then I have some leftover vellum pages, and I'm going to be using this one to add in here like that. So I'm going to be adding this with glue, but before I add this, I'm going to stitch around it to make it look like the pocket was stitched into the page. So here is my vellum page, and now I'm just going to add some glue. Okay, and we're just going to place this right on top of this image. So then I'm going to use some leftover pieces here, and I'm also going to cut them at 5 1/2, and I'm going to make this into a double pocket. So I'm going to just score here. I'm going to join these together. So first I'm going to score at 1/2 inch on both sides on one of the pieces. And on the other piece, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch in both sides, but then also on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the corners out like that. So we're gonna glue this page down like that, and then you're going to glue this second pocket right on top to make it look like one double pocket. Before I glue mine, I'm going to stitch it around to make it look like the pocket was stitched in place. So here is my first stitch piece, and then this is the one that is going to wrap around, and then I'm going to use some of these little pieces here. This is the spider web one, and I'm just going to cut a piece about 2.5 by 3 inches, and I want this to be a side pocket here. So I'm going to do the opening just like this. Okay, and then we are going to glue, and I'm going to do this first because I want to add my stitching in here, but we're just going to glue on 3 sides again to create this little pocket here. So I'm just gonna do glue like that, and then we're going to add another little pocket here. So now I'm ready to glue my pieces down. So I'm just gonna add some glue on both sides, and we're gonna put the first one right here. I'm just gonna glue this one on top, and you're gonna do glue on the bottom here. Okay, and now we're just gonna place that one right there. So now for this side, I'm going to add a side pocket. So I'm going to cut this out, and I really like this mushroom, so I'm gonna cut this at 4 inches, and I'm going to try to get these mushrooms in here, and then I'm going to cut these maybe at 4. So this could be a 4 by 4 piece, and that can go right here like that. And I am actually going to put that one on top of a 4 by 5. So I'm going to do a 4 by 5 piece here. So we are going to add piece together. So first I'm going to do the hole on this side here, because this pocket is going to go on top, and then we're going to glue the 3 sides, and we're going to place this one right on top of the first one, so it's kind of like a little hidden pocket in there. And again, if you like to stitch, you can go ahead and stitch this side. Here is the double pocket. We have the pockets on this side, and then we're gonna glue this so we have a pocket on the top here as well. So I'm just going to make my half a circle, and then I'm just going to glue the 3 sides. Okay, so the bottom and the 2 sides here, and we're just gonna place this pocket down, and there you go. So now we have this side pocket and the top pocket there as well. Cut this other piece of 5x4, and I also went ahead and did some stitching around, and this is going to be a pocket for this side here. Now again, we can do the circle punch right there, and then I'm just going to glue down my pockets. And I cut this other piece of paper. This is 8 inches by, I believe it's 2.5. No, it's 3 inches, so it's 8 inches by 3 inches, and I'm just gonna glue this so we can have a side pocket. And you can see that I already went ahead and stitched this as well, and I'm just going to glue this right here. Okay, and there you go. So now we have this side pocket, and there you go. I went ahead and printed another one of these little witches, and I backed it on some cardstock, and I'm just gonna glue this one right here, kind of on the center of the pocket, and then I can still use the pocket in there. And I also went ahead and put some of my, I have all kinds of scrap pieces of this little coffee dye paper, so I just went ahead and stitch some together to make them into little booklets. And then I also went ahead and did this one. I just stitched this one down the middle to create this little mini book of spells. So I'm just gonna put them throughout here on some of these pockets, and there you go. Here is the book of pockets. Now I was thinking you can use this book to be like the cover of a traveler's journal if you like. So for example, I have something like this, and this is just plain paper here, and you can definitely add it there, and this can be your fun little cover. If you want to use this as a cover, I'm going to add some seam binding here so it can hold the book in place. So for that, I'm just going to poke 2 holes. Okay, so I'm just gonna do one right here and one on the other side of this little spine we have, and then we are going to add some seam binding. So I only have this this one is like a navy blue, but it kind of looks black, so I'm gonna use this one for now, and I'm just going to pull that out, and same thing here. Okay, and then I'm going to close these, and then I'm going to tie this here on the outside. I'm gonna make a knot so it's not moving. Okay, so I'm going to actually trim this out, and I'm going to add some lace here on top, just because I think the lace will look a little bit cuter. So I'm going to add my glue right here, and I'm going to glue this seam binding in place. Okay, and then I'm going to add another layer of glue so we can add the trim in there. Okay, so the center. I just like these little ruffles. So there you go. And then I'm just going to cut this extra. And there you go. So now we have this little option here on the center if you want to add your traveler's notebook. And then the last thing I'm going to do is cover my little TN. That way it kind of matches up with the collection. So I'm just gonna glue this piece right on top here, and I kind of want this center, so I'm just gonna glue it, and then I'm going to trim out the extras. I like to cut a little V section on my traveler's notebooks, that way they're not falling out and they kind of land in place. So I'm just gonna do a little triangle piece right here, just like that, and same thing here. So there you go. Now you can see that my seam binding kind of lands on those little V notches that I cut, and that way this is not moving all over the place. And there you go. I hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial. Please join me tomorrow for another fun project. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.